the most damning evidence, as we keep talking about, Sonali Phogat can be seen dancing in the club. This is perhaps an hour or two before she was murdered, and her personal assistant Sudhir can be seen as well, and he is seen giving her drugs in drinks, so forcibly making her drink. That is the image on our television screens. That is the CCTV footage that has come now straight from the club, where this is perhaps an hour before Sonali Phogat was murdered. Sonali Phogat can be seen along with her personal assistant Sudhir Sangwan, and they are seen dancing, and Sudhir can be seen giving her drinks. Anand Tiwari is joining me on the phone line. Anand ji, ये कितने घंटे पहले की ये फुटेज है, और इसी के बाद शायद सुधीर सांगवान और सुखविंदर उनको एक वॉशरूम में लेकर जाते हैं?
जी देखिए, बिल्कुल 12 बजे के आसपास सोनाली फोगाट को ड्रग्स दिया गया था, और ये ठीक 12 बजे के आसपास की सीसीटीवी फुटेज है जो गोवा पुलिस ने एक्सेस की है। और जो गोवा पुलिस के टॉप ऑफिसर्स हैं उनका कहना है कि 12 बजे ही जो पहली डोज थी वो एक लीकर फॉर्म में सोनाली फोगाट को दी गई, और बिल्कुल ऐसा लग रहा था कि सोनाली फोगाट कोई पानी पी रही है, इसलिए वो बिल्कुल शक नहीं कर पाई। और आप देख रहे हैं फोर्सफुली उन्हें ड्रग्स दिया जा रहा है, और वो पहले से ही काफी ज्यादा अनकॉन्शियस नजर आ रही है। उस समय वहां पर डांस फ्लोर पे तमाम लोग डांस कर रहे हैं, और उसके बाद उनकी तबीयत जब लगातार बिगड़ती है तो 4 बजे का एक सीसीटीवी फुटेज कल भी हमने न्यूज 18 में एक्सेस किया था, जिसमें सोनाली फोगाट को बाथरूम में से वापस आते हुए नजर हम देख रहे हैं, जिसमें गोवा पुलिस का कहना था कि करीबन 1.5 घंटे तक जो सोनाली फोगाट है वो बाथरूम में थी, और वहां से आज ड्रग्स भी जो है गोवा पुलिस ने बरामद की थी। जो इस करलीस क्लब के जो ऑनर है उनको, और जो ड्रग पेडलर है, कुरियर बॉय, उसको भी गोवा पुलिस ने गिरफ्तार कर लिया है। लेकिन ये सीसीटीवी फुटेज काफी ज्यादा महत्वपूर्ण और अहम है, क्योंकि इससे ये साबित होता है कि किस तरह से फोर्सफुल ड्रग्स जो है वो सोनाली फोगाट को दिया गया। ड्रग्स गोवा के पेडलर के जरिए पहले हासिल किया गया, और फिर सुधीर सांगवान इस पूरे मामले में कॉन्स्पिरेटर था, मुख्य कॉन्स्पिरेटर, जिसने कि वो ड्रग्स अरेंज किया था।
Yes, so who exactly is Sudhir Sangwan? Let me tell you, how did he and Sonali Phogat actually meet? They met in 2019 during her political stint, and he was the one who arranged for Sonali's political campaign. So funds was arranged by this man who was seen earlier, forcibly making her drink, which was perhaps spiked. Then Sudhir starts working with her as a personal assistant and also the manager cum strategist for her polls. Then Sudhir, of course, who has been arrested, the family has been alleging that he had full access to her property documents. He used to operate Sonali's accounts and finances, and he also had access to her key of her farmhouse, her ATM card, and the family also alleges that this man, who is now being seen as accused number 1 in her murder, actually did not allow any of her family members to talk to her, to meet her, and he used to decide who will Sonali Phogat meet or not meet. So he had complete control over Sonali Phogat, and now he has accepted the crime. He is accused number 1 in this entire murder mystery. Joining me now, Hemant Attri, senior journalist, who has been tracking the story very closely. We also have Shashikant, former IPS officer and former DGP of Punjab, and Dr. Mahabalesh Shetty is head forensic medicine, KS Hegre Medical Academy. I'm going to begin with you, Hemant Attri. You have been tracking the story very, very closely, and if you look at the footage that has emerged, it's very clear that her drink was spiked. We are yet to know what was the nature of that poison that led to her heart attack was. But when we look at it, what can be the motive? So far, the family says that there is no link to any politician, that the only motive that the family feels at the moment is that this is related to property matters.
Mariaji, for last say about 48 hours, I have been telling on your channel time in and time out that this is a clear-cut political conspiracy backed by some property dispute between her PA and her. Now it is more than evident. Now you will ask me how. Sonali Phogat was not a very qualified person. She was only a matriculate. And this gentleman, Sudhir Sangwan, who happens to meet her in 2019, he is a failed businessman. Mark my words, he is a failed businessman. He initially tried for, running a poultry farm in Gohana district in his village, which failed. Then subsequently he tried for a poly house agriculture. Again he failed. And then he was looking for some kind of, shortcut for getting, money and everything. Otherwise, he belongs to a very good family. Now, if you go to Sonali Phogat side, Sonali again is only a matriculate. She is not very well qualified. And all of a sudden in 2019, earlier in Lok Sabha elections and then subsequently in assembly elections, he started taking care of all her things, including arranging 2 Mercedes vehicles for her for campaigning. That's how he started. Initially, it was a white Mercedes, which happened to meet with some accident in the vehicle. Sonali and the Sudhir were there. Then subsequently, that Mercedes Benz was changed, and again a black Mercedes was caught. That's how he started impressing her. He used to stay with her initially for a day, then for weeks, and since 2019, he has been like a shadow to her. Now, during whole this scenario, what he did, he had access to all her ATMs, all her accounts, all her keys, all her flats in Noida as well as in Gurgaon sector 102, everything. Now, the issue, Mariaji, is this kind of a person who might or might not be having a criminal background. He calls a person called Sukhinder from Bhiwani district through a man called Gagadwas, who is a politically connected man who has relations with some film stars in Bombay and Goa.
Okay.
And Sonali Phogat was very looking for becoming a celebrity in no time. She had millions of followers on TikToks and social media platforms. She used to be really very possessive
so
about
when we
it.
look at the nature of investigation, Dr. Mahabalesh Shetty, do you think the Goa police initially messed up? There was blunt force injuries on her body. They perhaps overlooked that, and then they went ahead and said that it is a case of a heart attack, when there was much more to this theory of just a cardiac arrest.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, Dr. Shetty, go ahead.
First, I will come to the main point. The crux of the thing is, when any broad dead case is brought to the casualty or emergency medicine department. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Dr. Shetty, please go ahead.
Yeah. Whenever broad dead case is brought to the casualty or emergency medicine, it itself becomes a default MLC, medical legal case. The minute it becomes medical legal case, body has to be post-mortem. So before doing the post-mortem, I don't know how these police people or even the Goa CM has told that it is a heart attack or something to do with the natural death. We're not supposed to comment on it. Whenever a broad dead case is brought to the casualty, by default, it becomes a medical legal case. It's like sudden death. Any death which occurs within 24 hours without any signs and symptoms, without any previous or poisoning, it becomes a sudden death. So we are not supposed to comment on this like a heart attack or other things until and unless the body has been autopsied. And coming to another thing, what you told, madam, about blunt force injury. I just happened to read the report, but the blunt force injury on which part of the body is paramount.